Trump's lawyers recently hired a team to search 4 of the former president's properties, including Trump Tower in New York City and his Bedminster Golf Club. That search to look for potential classified materials. The former president now also vowing to appeal a Manhattan jury's decision finding 2 of his companies guilty of criminal tax fraud. Now, Trump himself was not charged in that case, but it is a significant blow to his brand. And that verdict comes amid important new developments in several other investigations stemming from his efforts to ignore or to overturn the 2020 election results. There are new subpoenas, for example, from the Justice Department Special Counsel and potential referrals now by the January 6th committee, criminal referrals. Joining me to share the reporting and their insights, CNN's Sarah Murray, CNN's Evan Perez, and our CNN legal analyst, former federal prosecutor, Jennifer Rogers. Evan, let me just start with you in the sense that we can put up on the screen this myriad of investigations. One of them was the investigation, the verdict yesterday, in a lawsuit where he was not named as a defendant, but there were certainly questions raised about the ethics and the tax practices of his business. The New York Manhattan District Attorney says that's a stepping stone, more work to be done.
The investigation is ongoing. This was a chapter in it, a case against the corporations. Who sanctioned the conduct on behalf of the corporation is a different standard from sort of obviously proof beyond a reasonable doubt as to an individual. But, you know, we're continuing to do our work.
This is an office that has been, Trump critics have criticized in the past, saying that he backed off from other investigations that he inherited. Do we get a sense, does the tax case give them more fodder evidence to move forward, or is he just holding his options?
I think he's trying to have it both ways. I mean, they had an option, certainly when they had Alan Weisselberg, who was the star witness in their trial. You know, they could have made a deal with him where he would be a witness against the former president and his family. They reportedly did not do that. He says that obviously all the options are still on the table, but it's hard to see, you know, how you're going to make a case when you don't do a deal like that. By the way, you know, our Cara Scannell, who was in court during those 7 weeks, you know, she reported that, you know, multiple times prosecutors said that it was clear Trump was involved in all of this, that he obviously underreported his income or his taxes, certainly for his tax purposes, for years. So all of this should have, you would think, you know, been evidence that they could use.
Well, we'll see where that one goes from there. You were up on Capitol Hill yesterday. Another one of the questions is how specific will the January 6th committee be when A, it publishes a report, and then B, it will, the chairman says, have some criminal referrals to the Justice Department. One of the members, Adam Schiff, on NPR this morning says at the top of that list should be Donald J. Trump.
Do you believe that Donald Trump committed specific prosecutable crimes on January 6th and beforehand, a criminal conspiracy or something else?
Yes, I do. That I think the facts support a potential charge against the former president. And, you know, the Justice Department, in my view, needs to hold, you know, everyone equally responsible before the law.
He, among the committee members, has been nudging the Justice Department from the very get-go here. Do we have a sense of how clear they will be?
Well, I think they don't have a sense of how clear they will be at this point. You know, right now they're still narrowing down the list of the universe of people that they want to put on this list for criminal referrals. Obviously, we know they are weighing the possibility of a Donald Trump criminal referral, but the question is which of those allies may also be on those lists? What kind of crimes are you talking about referring them for? And they don't really have a lot of time to narrow this down. I mean, they keep saying it's going to be soon, it's going to be soon, it's going to be soon, and we're saying, you know, how soon? Like, is this a this week thing? Is this a next week thing? So we are waiting for them to nail down the details, I think, like everyone is.
And Jennifer Rogers, help us with your experience as a former federal prosecutor. Sometimes investigators send subpoenas because they're in the early stages of an investigation. They're trying to gather information, and you don't know where it's going to take you. In the case of the new special counsel, we know there have been new subpoenas issued to election officials in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and in Arizona, asking, we know that in all of those states, Trump allies were trying to find a way to reverse the results of the 2020 election. What does that tell you? What would you read into that about the strategy, the focus of the new special counsel?
Well, John, these are later stage subpoenas. They started with subpoenas to the fake electors themselves to find out who was involved, what did they do, what was the scope of the scheme, and also to see if they could flip any of those people and get testimony from those people about the folks who were really running the show from Washington. So now we see kind of the next round, the subpoenas about, we want to hear about communications between you and these people in Washington, Donald Trump and his supporters, John Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, the other folks who were actually running that criminal scheme. And so now we'll see, as people start going into the grand jury, now that a lot of the litigation over executive privilege and other privilege issues has largely concluded, they'll start getting that evidence. And after this round, I think they'll start to be in a position to think about charging those crimes.
After this round, to think about it. One last quick one, confirming the reporting that Trump's lawyers hired a team to look. He's in this another dust-up with the Justice Department over the documents he took from the White House classified materials. They say they searched and they found no more classified documents?
That's right. They said that they found no additional classified documents. And, you know, very nice of them. They also invited the Justice Department to come at least observe one of these searches, which the Justice Department declined. But, you know, keep in mind that the prosecutors have been telling Trump and his team, we believe there are additional documents that are missing that need to be returned. And that's partly why they know that the former president has a lot of legal jeopardy, you know, the constellation of investigations that you pointed out, but this one is really very real, right? He got a subpoena. He was told to turn over documents that were marked classified, did not, and then weeks later the Justice Department goes there and finds.
And yet again, you try to answer a question and you raise a question. If they believe there are still missing classified documents and they're not in any of those 4 locations, at least that's the testimony in the report back, where are they?